Hey everybody, welcome back to another review. Hope you guys been enjoying the content channel as of late. We are back now. We just put out another short, so I just wanted to get some time to that. Yeah, so excuse me if I seem a little bit just off. I don't know what's been going on. I think that just a lot of stuff going on. Just been kind of tired. I might do a vlog, honestly. I don't know. We'll see. But it's been more just more mellow, I guess you could say. Um, but I went to check this out with my brother today, I definitely have some thoughts regarding this specific film we just watched. That film that we're going to be talking about today is Moana. This is the latest in the live-action adaptations. I forget who directed it. Forgive me, I believe it is Thomas Cowley. I think that's his name. I do not know if he is associated with the other Moana movies, but this is the third of the Moana, just film series. We've had two animated films, and now we have our first live-action adaptation of this. And it is, of course, based on the original movie, so it is retelling the original story quite a bit. Essentially, Moana is on this island. We follow a character named Moana, who is the princess to a Pacific tribe, and they have a very strict culture where they do not go beyond their waters, as certain things in the past, has forced them to, or has influenced them to become more isolated. And Moana has a particular connection with the ocean, and she's fascinated by the ocean, and she wants to see what else is beyond her, her parameters. And through a Pacific quest that is bestowed upon her, she gets that opportunity, and she adventures out, and she meets many things along the way, including a demigod named Maui, which is played by Dwayne Johnson, and the two go on a voyage together to try to save the island and try to save other islands and cultures from a impending threat that appears to be taking out all the life that surrounds that, everything, the water, the floor, the dirt, the soil. Their quest is to figure out how to face this godlike creature, and along the way learn to bond with each other and learn how to form a Pacific friendship, as it were. So it's been a hot minute since I've seen the original Moana. I don't remember it. I do remember liking it, but I don't remember loving it when it first came out. It is roughly 10 years. I think actually, 10 years on the dot. 10 years since the original film came out. And of course, we had the sequel, which came out literally, I think, 2 years ago. So there's been, quite doubts about, many doubts for many years, especially with the live-action adaptations. But with this one specifically, being extremely close to being with another, film in this animated series, it brings to question, what was the legitimacies behind this? What did it have to be made? Especially now, so with the box office coming back for this and seemingly opening less than what Snow White did. It definitely puts things in perspective to where people's appetites are with live-action adaptations. Because this just kind of came and went. I don't remember hearing a lot about it, and so I didn't know what to expect going into it. And what I got out of it, I felt, in my honest opinion, was something extremely problematic. I think that there's a lot of issues with this film, and I think that it just cements less, the more that I sit with it, the less that I find. And it's not a feeling that I really love sitting with. I usually like to find the good parts in everything that I watch, and in this case anyway, if there is a positive side to things, I think that there are scraps of what those performances are trying to do but especially with the lead actress, I think that there's elements to her performance that work, specifically with her singing. I think she does well in that department. You can tell that she, knows how to deliver on certain vocals, how to rise and fall. Um, and in some cases, when it comes to the singing, it does remind me of the original voice, the original voice actress. It kind of echoes that to some extent from my vivid memory of the original movie. Um, and just some of the visual spectacle is kind of neat. But as you can tell anyway, my feelings on it, in that respect are crumbs. It's like just picking through something, but not necessarily getting to the meat and potatoes. Because when we get into the meat and potatoes, that's where the problems really start to arise. And I feel like the biggest issues with this film are twofold. One of which is to do with pacing. I feel that it is very, very speedy. It just wants to go through a lot of things and not really develop them or sit with them. It's just here's this scene, here's that scene, here's this scene, and then that's it. Not necessarily giving you time to sit with characters or to really find some commonality, or if that's even a word, or it's building up resonance between characters. It just kind of breezes through all that and acts more as, like, in some ways, an abbreviation of what that original story was. And because of that, also, I don't know if it's just purely that or if it's my other complaint, but however the case may be, when you really consider the base of this, the foundation of this film, the word that really comes to mind, and I hate to use it, but it's the word that I think of, it just feels very careless. It just feels like that there wasn't a lot of thought that really went into it outside of just highlighting what that original film had to offer in terms of visualizations. It's just presenting certain cues or certain environments, and it doesn't really go for anything that would be completely new or completely risk-taking, as far as I can remember from, what the original film was from 10 years ago. It seems pretty much charting the course, of what that original story was. And it just doesn't seem like it has that energy behind it, that it doesn't have the passion or the energy. And especially with these performances here, I just don't feel like anybody is really caring too much by the material or is giving enough to really drive a certain point home or drive, that performance or cement it in a certain way. Everything just feels lowered. And it doesn't feel like we're really getting a lot out of it, especially with the lead actress. I'm sorry, she's not particularly great. I feel like a lot of her performance is very wooden and inexpressive. I don't think she has a lot of expressions, and it's unfortunate. I wish I didn't had to say that because she's a brand new actress, but unfortunately, I just felt like she fell flat in this. The same thing with Dwayne Johnson, and I know people have talked about his wig and how he looks. Yeah, it's a little distracting. I can't lie. And yeah, even he didn't seem all that caring of the material as well. My brother suggested that maybe it's because he's already done this before. But even then, it's like you're still being paid to do a job. Do what you gotta do, right? And I just feel as though that what he brings to this, it just feels so less. Especially in comparison to the original film. And my brother showed me a little bit from the original movie, and it's like, yeah, he has way more energy there, and here it just feels so much more dour and so much lower, and that sense of carelessness just feels absolute, you know. So, and it also feels very stagey. There's a lot of CG that's having to take place in this, and I knew that going in, it's just the nature of we're having to see in live action format. Yeah, of course, there's going to be a lot of CG in this, but it feels stagey. Even with the practical stuff, it just feels very stagey. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like the camera's really flowing through environments. It feels like placement here, placement there, and it just doesn't translate as well in terms of cinematic visualizations. It just feels very just stationary, and in some cases oversaturated. Like some of the lighting on it, it's just like, you can tell it's like in a soundstage or something like that. and I hate that feeling again, where it's like it's obvious and frank. But it's just to say that it's just, I saw one reviewer, as I think it was Angry Joe, on his thumbnail. He said soulless. I don't know if I would necessarily go to that place for describing it, but I'm near that place. The word that I would put for this is that it just feels careless. It doesn't feel as though that there's a lot of passion being put behind it. It just feels that everything that's being done here just feels as if it's being brought down a peg. Like the energy in the original is here, and with this is right down here. It just does not feel like people really are caring enough about what they're doing, and it translates in the production. It translates within the overall edit. The pacing just whips by, and the time for developments or connections is just made to its thin points and really lack thereof, more or less. And then through the performance as well, like not just with these two, it's just generally with a lot of these people. Like Moana's father, I was not impressed with him. I thought he was very wooden. The grandma character, who I felt was, or the aunt character, it's just, yeah, she also was not great, because a lot of the structuring of the film also, I feel, gets in the way of those performances and what they're trying to do, and it just clashes absolutely. It does not feel as if everybody has their place. It feels like everybody is so distinctive and distant, to where when they're trying to put it together, it just does not work. So yeah, it's a very problematic movie, and I just feel as though that it just needed to have a greater sense of direction, and through that, greater sense of care. Because I just don't feel it here. I just don't feel like that there is that care and that spirit that the original film had. It just feels watered down. It just feels in some ways just par for the course, and in a lot of ways just without a great sense of imagination or care. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on the live action Moana. I didn't really like it. I didn't hate it, I mean, I try not to hate any much things. That's just not me. But it's not particularly good. So, you guys, let me know your thoughts on live action Moana. It seems as though it's not looking too great. Like I said, it's gonna be opening even worse than Snow White, so Disney might need to reconsider a couple things with their live action adaptations. Probably, we'll see. But you guys, what are your thoughts on the live action Moana if you guys have seen it, and your guys' thoughts, of course, on the other Moana movies. We have Moana 3 on the way now, supposedly. So let me know all your thoughts relating to Moana in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video.